Yeah, got you.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
All right, so cool, my brother. Finally got you on the live. Let's get this thing started.
And I feel like those naps before work don't help, bro. Like,
It don't. It do not. It do not. All right. All right. So, the people that's gonna be watching this are either now or for the future. My name is Tori, owner of Melanin Medicine. I'm a registered nurse. Um, my organization, I basically is like a nonprofit. Basically, I want to educate the community, give back to the community, and just try to get more people of color into the healthcare industry. Um, got my brother Isaiah here. He can introduce himself.
it was going on, everybody. Whether you're watching this now or, like you said, in the future, same thing. My organization is Free Yourself, more so of a mental aspect for people to alleviate themselves of any stressors and problems they got going on in their life, and as well as to help people, give back and to help people in the future get out of situations. I myself am. This is my last year of nursing school, and I myself am.
Congrats.
I know, man. Ready? Hit. Yeah. But all right, man, let's jump into it.
All right, cool. Um, so Zay man, I wanted to kind of start off the conversation is so both of us being like in the healthcare field, we kind of know about like the in book definition of mental health and kind of see like we can kind of see at firsthand like what it is. But I kind of wanted to take a step back and before you was in the healthcare industry or like healthcare or mental health something that you wanted to do, how was still there, brother?
So yeah, before I was in the medical field, how did I perceive mental health? And this is when I was young. Mental health was never something that is usually taught to us. Nobody makes you aware of it. So I really didn't know anything about it, what it was. You just know this feeling of, oh, I feel down or I feel bad about something, or this certain situation is constantly replaying in my mind and making me feel some type of way. So it was never an acknowledgement of what was going on. So um, a lack of awareness, honestly, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
Did you?
most definitely agree with you. Um, I could say growing up, I feel like you said, it was just lack of awareness, lack of education. Nobody really explained to me what it was. Not even like just like me personally when I was like kind of going through stuff, especially like going through the teenage years and stuff. Um, Even just like seeing like people in my community and they have like these what we see like we know like probably like classic like schizophrenia or bipolar, and they
Yeah,
have like a manic phase, and I kind of felt like we like my community kind of just brushed it off like they're crazy, like they're just kind of crazy, and didn't really
yeah,
fully explain like they have a illness basically.
yeah. Pretty much, it was seen as like abnormal or not normal, not what society is used to. So they were kind of like categorized like just being abnormal.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Um, um, so yeah, so I just wanted to let the people know. So like the people that might not be in the medical field or might not know what like really understand mental health, just like the textbook definition is mental health includes our emotional, physiological, social well-being. It affects the way we think, feel, and also determine how we handle stress and how we relate to others and how we even make choices. I don't think people really realize like mental health like it affects your overall like well-being, like every aspect of your life basically.
Yeah, it is such a broad, like mental health itself is such a broad topic because it can go either way. It can go to like the medical model or it can just go to like the socialized model, you know,
Yeah,
stressors and stuff, or, it can dip into medical diagnosis and stuff. It's a broad topic.
cool. As a as both like as we both know, like mental health is like very common. I just kind of want to throw some numbers that I found just for like the American population in general. Um, 1 in 5 Americans, bro, experience some type of mental health issues. I thought that was like an astonishing number. Also, 1 in 10 young people experience some type of major depression, and 1 in 25 Americans live with a serious illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar, or major depression. How do you feel about those numbers?
I feel like they're accurate. Earlier, I was reading, and this ties into social economy as well, or the social income. People who have a lesser income, about like 30,000 or less, or more
Hmm.
susceptible to death, being bullied, being kidnapped, than individuals who have a higher income of like 75,000 or more. Um,
Mm.
Factors of it, I still have to do research for, but I do believe those statistics pretty much that people who have less income are more susceptible to become depressed, face mental illness than individuals who have a higher income because of what is it? It refers to as like the social capacity, which means that you have a lot more resources in your environment than somebody, who has less wealth.
Yeah, man, it's crazy though. 'Cause I always found that kind of interesting. Even like growing up, I can say that me personally, I grew up low income black neighborhoods, and just like as a young black male, and you see like kids growing up, and I always see like, I mean, I always used to see like kids like have like they always had like anger issues, and they didn't know how to redirect their emotions, and this, that, and the third, and it just like people didn't really have like the resources to find like help, like to really help their kids to either if it was with therapy or I was blessed enough where I was in a predicament where I was able to have like a mentor, a big brother to kind of help guide me. Um, resources is really like a number one thing, especially when it comes to like African Americans in general, because African Americans do typically have like their income disparity when it comes to wealth and disposable income.
Yeah, a lot of people think that to help somebody who has low income is just to give them social security or some type of government assistance like um, I think they call it, they say food stamps or they call it EBT now, or just some type of like government help, thinking that that will bring them out of the situation that they're in. But honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it just keeps them stationary,
Mm.
um, that like they're not offering any type of, hey, while we're giving this to you, let's offer some type of program to help you, with any type of depression or anything you're facing, or you know, just things of that nature. They're not offering it for the kids. They're not bringing awareness to that. You know, as far as like, it's just something that just comes with, I guess, being quote unquote lower class, quote unquote low income, or being poor.
Right, right, right. And this that's crazy, man. I guess it's kind of somewhat off topic, but I remember I having the discussion with my sister. My sister is a correctional officer, and she said it's crazy because like you think of like prisoners, a lot of them actually does have mental health issues, and it's like when it comes to our criminal justice system, it's like yeah, when they do the crime, obviously you have to do the time, but it's like you never give them that type of reformation that they need or the help they need to kind of help them with their symptoms or even like acknowledging like their like mental health issues and stuff like that.
We jumping into a whole other
Yeah,
category.
that's a whole nother comp. I know that. That's a whole nother comp. Uh,
It, I actually book I have yet to dip into. It's called it's called Insanity. It's called America's Criminal Treatment of Mental Illness. I want to touch
mm.
before we dip into it. I think we can turn that into like maybe like a different series or something. But
Oh yeah, most definitely.
man, I feel like that definitely plays a role in like if you have a black man claimed as mentally insane versus a Caucasian man who's claimed as mentally insane. I feel like the punishments vary, and I'm pretty sure I can like statistics that supports that theory as well.
Right, right, right. Um, so I got some more numbers that I have found. I know you had did some research as well. So, So as we know that African Americans are obviously the like the minority of America, but African Americans, 16%, like 4.8 million of Black Americans have reported having mental illness, and 22.4% of those, or 1.1 million, reported having a serious mental illness over the past year. And I just wanted to dive into when it comes to the younger adults. African American youth ages from like 12 to 17, 16.1% to 9.4% of young adults, and 5.7 to 6.3% of young adults also have like a serious mental health illness and suffer from major depression. And I think depression is a big one for me. I feel like depression is not really talked on, and I
Mhm.
see like yeah, one of the things I think like with the Black community as a whole is just kind of like our attitude when it comes to like depression and mental health. Like, how do you feel like our attitudes, like from your point of view, is? Do you feel like take it more seriously, or do you think it's like you say that,
Depression
brother?
is serious. Depression, one thing when I think about depression, I think about when somebody goes through depression, if they don't know how to feel it, they will isolate themselves. They don't want to be bothered. They'll, destroy relationships. Don't know how to function. It prohibits your socialization, then it can take an impact on your physical health and of course your mental health, because in your mind, your immune system's being compromised because your brain's primarily focused on that depression. So while your immune
Mm,
system, you're more susceptible to common cold, flu, things of that nature. Um, like you were saying the numbers as far as like, 12 through 15, 12 through 17, Black people in the United States make up about, and this is an estimate, about 20% of the United States population, if I have that correct. I got to actually cite it from somewhere, but within that 20%, you got to think of how many of those Black people are actually wealthy, how many of those Black people are in the lower class, which I'm assuming,
yeah,
and then you got to think about the stressors that come with the socialization of being in the lower class. So that's why I feel like those numbers are accurate. And then individuals have to worry about putting food on the table, worry about their kids going to school, worried about getting the proper education, worrying about trying to change your generational wealth, change your generation, provide for your children. So I definitely agree that those statistics are accurate. I mean,
yeah,
that's the truth.
yeah. And even both of us being Black males, I think we can kind of speak on just kind of being Black in America is kind of a stressor itself. Like, other than like you seeing the social media, like a lot of Black males does face like uh police discrimination. A lot of Black males does have like grow up in single parent homes and are like the primary givers, and a lot of Black males does have like don't really have a father figure, so they're trying to learn how to be a man. And they got the influence from like their neighborhoods, and it's just a whole lot of stuff that kind of goes into it. And then like I know as a Black male speaking, and I leave my sisters out or anything, but I know as a Black male speaking, sometimes when it comes to like our mental health, it's like we kind of grow up as you're a man, suck it up almost.
Emotional
And
depression, in a way,
yeah,
as when you're a child, you're a boy, you're supposed to be tough. Your parents like, and they don't really know, they're not educated in it, but you're a boy. We don't want you to be soft. We don't want you to express your emotions. And as you grow up, you have this in your mind that I'm not allowed to express myself emotionally. So you have these men, like you said, who grow up and they don't know how to express themselves.
hmm
It's it's crazy, man. It's sad.
yeah, man, and it's crazy too because I can like speak from experience, not even like even like just met Black males. Like I feel like the Black community in general, like sometimes when it comes to mental health, like I had kind of stated earlier, I think just because of the lack of education, and we don't really take it as serious as we should have, like as we should. And even like when it comes to other stuff, like I said, like when I kind of grew up and I seen like family members of people in my neighborhood who like suffer from depression, suffer from schizophrenia, and it's like it's either you sweep it under the rug, you deal with it, or a lot of black people, I feel like we use, it can kind of be a controversial statement, but I feel like a lot of black people, we use religious as like a coping mechanism. And even like when people depressed, it's kind of just like, oh, well, just pray, get over it, or, just like work on your faith. And it's not really working on the issue at hand. Is this person has a mental illness they need. Sometimes people need medical help.
Yep. Or not. There's holistic, as you know, holistic ways of, counseling, just talking about it, relieving yourself of this pain that's eating at you. And honestly, that's how it started off as, like a pain, and I'm assuming like even right now in time, like a lot more people are in pain and they want to release it. And if you take a look at suicide, people feel like that's the only way to release that pain when that pain's been built up for so long, and that's why like suicide rates stay at a high like consistency. They feel like nobody understands them, nobody relates, nobody understands what's going on with them. And then going back to what you said about trying to think, they'll come back. You said something I wanted to touch on that was really interesting, but yeah, man. As far as like just people just really want to be understood. People don't want to feel pain as they go through.
Yeah. Um, yeah, anxiety is another big one. I
Definitely.
know myself and some family members I know suffer from anxiety, and anxiety sometimes like when you have like an anxiety attack, boy, it's like you literally don't have any control of yourself. Almost like it's like your brain is like all over the
Yeah. Yeah, and there's
place.
certain triggers, and coming out of that anxiety attack can be a challenge as well. From my I've never had one, but I've only read. I never seen anybody experience one. But you know, your brain and your whole body is primarily focused on that trigger that happened for that anxiety attack,
Hmm.
and that
Yeah.
and
Other.
that's one of many. That's like one of many type of psychological things that can happen. Like a trigger is just one word that can put you back in depression. It can put you back in an emotional state. Like you see a certain individual, you see a certain piece of paper, you see a certain environment or something that just puts you back into that. Some people gambling, alcohol, um,
Mhm.
going through abuse, just anything for real. So it scars you. Pretty much, it scars you, man. Experience through mental illness or even stress can scar you.
That's true, man. And that I wanted to kind of touch back on something you said earlier, just to kind of take a few steps back when you were saying like with the high suicide rate, especially like when it ties into depression and stuff. Kind of going back to the attitudes with Black Americans sometimes that we have. Um, I can say I can speak from experience and from what I've seen. Um, and why I feel sometimes we don't take mental health issues as serious, because I know sometimes when African Americans, where you see in the news and you do see like a case where a black male or black females take their own life for most likely depression or some type of other mental illness. And I have seen cases where people like something fishy, something's going on. Black people don't kill themselves. They don't. We don't have depression. It's kind of like, yeah, we do. Like, and these individuals needed to get some type of help, or those people were probably crying out for help before they reached that point. And I think, like, for me, I sometimes feel like I kind of get passionate because it's kind of like when you dismiss things like that, sometimes it's kind of like people who might be going through the similar situation. It's kind of like they feel hopeless to reach out because, like, nobody going to believe them, or nobody going to want to really take them seriously or anything like that. So I think that is an attitude I would like to personally address, like, as I go on with my career and my personal organization, like through mentorship or whatever, just really taking it serious and like educate other people to take it seriously. And it's okay to tell your brother, your sister, look, I might can't. help you, or I might don't have the means to help you, but we can find the resources to
And
get you through this situation.
that. And to piggyback off you, I myself, their housekeeping, dietary. I'm gonna say hi to you, and it's crazy because I know you've been in a hospital or nursing home. How you saying hi and talking to the dietary or talking to housekeeping can literally make their day versus
Hmm.
talking to a nurse because the way that dietary, and we're hopping off topic a little bit, but the way that dietary and housekeeping are ignored and treated, that hi, hey, how you doing, you look good today, that makes a difference in their day because we don't know, like you said, everyone's focused on the exterior, nobody's focused on the interior, everybody don't know what's going on with somebody else. This person, before they came to work, they could have just been in court, or they could have been in a dispute, or they could have, they could be battling anything. So you never know until you know when something's going on mentally. you know and
Yeah,
and as far as what you said about how black people don't take mental health serious, I think it's due to the lack of education. And then
most
also,
definitely.
um there was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot it. Oh, mental illness doesn't discriminate. It's like
Right.
a virus, but I will put it in the same category as it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your gender, you can get mental illness. But I would say the only factor is your social class. And I was reading that, of course, people with a higher social class or people who's more wealthy experience a lot more less mental illness than somebody who's in middle class and lower class. That's what I will say. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's something I most definitely agree with you that
oh no, brother, I'm just contributing. And so,
oh yeah, 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 yeah. I was saying though, like I guess like the next kind of like how what are like resources that we can like even as us like as individuals like we can kind of get or people who watching like if you had know somebody who's kind of suffering from a mental illness whether it's depression anxiety and what kind of direction can we kind of lead them to.
I would say seek somebody, like talk to somebody who you trust. Talk to somebody who you feel like you can get reliable information from. Every situation is different, but every situation is delicate as well.
Yeah,
Girls out there, you can be suffering from child custody battles and suffer depression from that, suffer depression from losing your job, suffer depression from losing a family member, suffer depression from being unable to stop a habit that you have formed. You can literally anything can come from it. That's why I say each situation is delicate. Um, that's hard, man. I can say from my opinion, I feel like I was always an individual who learned from trial and error. When this doesn't work, okay,
mm-hmm.
you kind of, but to prevent people from going through unnecessary stuff like that, I would just say try and find the resources, speak to somebody, or even individuals like us, to where we can just kind of like pave the way for people so they don't have to go with what we went through. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's the best way I can say it. So,
yeah, most definitely, and I think you made a good point. It's just I feel like sometimes when people are having like mental health issues or like they're having like a breakdown or whatever, just not being scared of reaching out, man. Like if you have somebody you trust, like just reaching out, cause that just I feel like sometimes even having an outlet, you know what I mean. If it's like I tell some friends like you don't have somebody to talk to, if you got to journal it down or write it down or sometimes find like some type of creative outlet or anything just to kind of get the stress and everything off you, just so you can I don't
I
know, just
will
kind
say
of like work your way through it.
it doesn't help that the society that we're in, because our society has become fragile to the point of you feel reluctant to share certain things, or like we said, emotionally suppressed, where let's say we're viewed as black males, we can't come on live crying about certain things in our day, or whatever the case may be. Like some people feel like their tongue is bit, or their tongue tied, or they feel like they can't speak, like they've been silenced, or that
Mm,
somebody won't understand them, or somebody won't relate to what they got going on. Because I felt like that for a while, that no one could relate to what I was going on. I was on the island by myself, things like that. So some people are going through that as well. So they're not reluctant to open their mouth or speak to somebody. And that's why the depression often builds up. Exactly. I definitely agree with that. She said the society we live in makes it seem like everybody has to be strong.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I seen this. I don't know if everybody seen this. It was like this reality TV clip, and I seen it to kind of lighten the mood some. But it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? Like if you're going through something, like it's okay to not be okay. And I like to tell people that, like, if you're down, like you don't have to try to put this strong, happy face on. Like it's okay. Like, I'm just not having a good day. I'm just not feeling it or whatever. And just expressing. I think that's a sometimes just having that type of self awareness helps as well.
You know what's crazy? I feel like nursing school and medical school gets that, like, just teaches you that, like, because we're mentally and physically conditioned when we go through like nursing or medical school, and just like it's expected to get a B or higher. If you get a 79 or a 75 or something, like you mentally beat yourself up, like, oh, I'm not good enough. Or you have that one student in the class who's just getting straight A's, and then it's like
Mhm.
it conditions you, like, you think like, oh, why am I not good enough, or why is this person better or whatever. But um, I would say for us, like, nursing or medical school is definitely a great way to condition us for, like, um, mental strength. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah. You hear me, brother?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Kind of broke up a little bit. But yeah, yeah, I agree with you most definitely, man. But I think I would just tell everybody else too, though. Like, also, like, don't be afraid to in the school where we have services where you can kind of get like free mental health or like talk to a therapist. Like, if you have those type of resources, don't be afraid to take advantage of them. Like, it's
Mhm.
completely normal. Everybody have episodes where they kind of feel down or feeling depressed or not really sure like what's kind of going on mentally, and you just need somebody to talk to. Like it is okay to talk to a medical professional, especially if you do have those resources available.
So, what would you say for the people like the lower class who don't have, let's say they don't have insurance, like health insurance? Like, what would you say to them who need resources like that, who's seeking that, but it's not available to them? Because of course, like, in like the minority class and stuff, or like in the communities, they don't have it to where, hey, we offer. I've never seen it to where, hey, we offer free counseling. Hey, like, hey, walk in, get a free service today, or get a free session, or things like that. Of course, they're quick to throw
Hmm.
government assistance at you as far as food stamps, and money, like Social Security, but they're never quick to throw, hey, let's offer them free counseling. Hey, let's offer them financial strategies to where they can start building their future and get ahead.
Oh, that's a good topic right there, brother. No, for real, that's a good topic, and I think what it's gonna boil down to, Isaiah, is and kind of tie down, I guess, to like how we got ended off with the attitude and how we're going to help change it. It kind of just come out, it just fall down on us, man. Like, we're the future of healthcare. We're the future of healthcare for Black Americans, and just really coming together and coming up with these, whether it's like a free mental health clinic or even if you like a mental health nurse or a mental health professional, where it's just taking that act of selflessness to put yourself out in that community, like, hey, this like what it's doing, like mental health or health clinic. Just I think it's gonna end up falling on us because we can't really depend on like the government to do that type of thing for our community. And it is like you said, the resources are limited. It's very limited for people of low income and people of color.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's why I reached out to you, and I respect your what you're trying to do is because we need people like you, we need people like your organization where people feel like they got somebody to come to or like a page to kind of like just to relate to if they need to just like vent or get something off their chest, or maybe try to get redirected to like some of the limited sources that are out there. But I do eventually think it's just gonna fall back on us, the future of Black Americans, for like far as the healthcare stance.
I think also that contributes very the rest of this excuse me, creating a judge-free environment. Because a lot of people feel like in healthcare, I know you've seen it, and I've seen it many times where people feel like they still can't fully express themselves, like they're not safe. Like you sharing certain information, like you're still going to be judged no matter what. Like when they say it's a judge-free environment,
Oh
it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, your nurse is supposed to be your advocate, the person you can trust and talk to, but that's not always the case. So I think that as well, that literally creating that, somebody will be likely to open up to you because they trust you, you know.
Mhm.
So that as well, definitely. And also,
Yeah.
a lot of people aren't as um, a lot of people would be more likely to give into like a certain belief of something because they feel like they can trust it. That's where it comes from as well. Like the whole like mental illness, like if nobody has ever seen it or dealt with it firsthand, they're not going to really know much about it or believe it, as opposed to somebody who's seen it or have dealt with it. So
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I think that's I think education is gonna be another big thing that kind of help the Black community when it comes to mental health. So when you when you really see like somebody with schizophrenia, their symptoms, and like when they do have hallucinations, or like you see them like talk to themselves, it's literally something that they can't heal. Like it comes down to like chemical imbalances to in the brain and stuff. And I think the more like we're exposed to it, the more people are educated. I think people kind of I will hope that people kind of have that grow that sympathy and empathy to kind of like have patience with those people more definitely.
real quick, I want to jump back to like where we were saying how like it's up to us in helping. I feel like when people help, like when they do like let's say government assistance or when somebody says like they help black people, like what are you actually doing? Like okay, you played this black person for a month or any individual for a month or you put food in their house, but is that actually helping them? Like what's preventing them from coming back to that situation again? Like what are you actually doing to help somebody? Like how do you help as can you sit down with this person and change their psychological thinking, put them in a better direction, or can you do that and say, hey, let me take care of your rent for like 6 months, and so that way you have enough time to step into a new category. Like I feel like that's the actual definition of trying to help somebody and make their life different versus hey, we're just going to give you enough to where you can just keep staying in the same position because you're always going to come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's something that it gets me irritated, especially when people say like I'm helping somebody. Like you're not helping somebody if they have to keep coming back to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And I think too, it goes to a lot like with African Americans too, like especially when especially like in politics, like it's like how are you gonna it's black people, how are you gonna help black people when black people we have like an extensive history in this country. We're from like slavery, segregation, Jim Crow laws, and a lot of that stuff is still affecting us from like generation to generation. And like our grandparents didn't have like the needs to get help, and their grandparents had the needs to get help. And so now it's like we come to the generation where I do think I do think as a whole, I think we're kind of coming together, kind of like realizing, okay, look, we have like situations that we need to fix, we need to address. And I think like the question now is like, how do we do so though?
Mm-hmm.
How do we address all this generation of pain and anguish and anger and mental health problems that haven't been addressed? It's always been pushed. Black people do have this, uh, uh, dare I say, stereotype of being strong. We can go through it,
Not even,
and it's
we're so divided, and I feel like I can relate to that. Like black people, and maybe it's a contribute to society or perceptions built upon we're divided, and like, me and you, like, you doing this video, like, coming together, of course, will make us stronger. It'll give us more power to where we're able to do more things. Like, sit down first, we got to focus on ourselves. We got to be a little selfish. Like, let's get ourselves together so that way, moving forward, we can change an individual, multiply that by two individuals, multiply that, and then just keep going. So that way, we can look back 5 years from now. We can say, hey, we helped over 2,000 Black, changed their life. We didn't just help them, we changed their psychological thinking, and we helped them to continue that. So that way, their children, they can bring them up in a more solid foundation instead of Black people just being raised on survival, Black people being raised on
Mm,
Black people being raised on proper like nutrients, nurture, things like that, and that's things is always being deprived. Keep them, if you keep them separated, if you keep them divided, if you take away the information and the knowledge from them, I mean, what do you have? You got people who are literally trying to survive out here, and then that's why they just quickly throw Black people into that category.
that was powerful right there, buddy.
It's all how you look at it, for real. Some people just stay
Yeah,
to it because they don't have to face it, and if you don't have to face it, and if you subliminal to it, you don't have to worry about it.
right, right.
But yeah, man, definitely go for that. So we know the blueprint. We just got to follow through with it, pretty much. And the first part of it is being selfish and building yourself. And for any Black person, anybody of any ethnicity, you got to fix yourself before you can fix somebody else. And I used to be a little reluctant, like, I'm like, nah, you can do both at the same time. If you're not 100%, then you can't. I mean, you can't really give 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Most definitely agree with that.
So definitely,
Yeah. But I said, before we go off, is there anything else that you would like to touch on? I know it was some things that we had left out, like hopefully we can go and go live again in the future and touch on some things in depth some more. Before I dip off to work.
yeah, same.
Hopefully the next thing I want to hopefully next time we touch on is like I guess to go to another topic too, like how African Americans are treated and viewed in the healthcare systems while they're also reluctant to get help. Like it's a whole nother topic. uh, but yeah, but is there anything else you would like to add?
Um, nah, I feel like we touched a lot. We went past what we were supposed to, but we definitely did like a broad spectrum touch. Um, Moving forward, like you said, we can focus on that next, and then just move forward with them, break them up in segments and stuff. But I think this was cool. It was pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I liked it a lot too, man. I think what's important to sometimes the Black community is just kind of like having that dialogue, like just starting the dialogue and talking about it, then moving from the dialogue and putting it into action. So
That's one of the two. It's pointless to talk about it if you can't, actually put it in. But a lot of people, they gotta believe, they gotta give it time and let it manifest. Because like we're talking about it now, and who knows if we're in a position right now to make big moves like that. Like it's you know. But then I also think like it's sad, but like how much time do our people have for real?
yeah, yeah,
So, but two people can't change the world. We can make an impact.
yeah,
Can't
yeah, that's true, man.
so
Yeah, we gonna do it though, man. We're gonna speak into existence, could take it one day at a time, but most definitely, man. I think you most definitely got a good thing going. I support your organization, 10-4.
definitely.
If I think some people had kind of left. I think some people kind of left, but you guys don't. In the future, like when you watching guys, just follow Free Yourself on IG and follow Melanin and Medicine Incorporated as well, and just get that good old content. And hopefully, maybe we can make like kind of organize. We can like announce live, so maybe people kind of make their schedule around like watching it and involving themselves in the conversation.
Definitely. Do you want to do like let me Thursday around the same time? Like just make it like every Thursday about 5:30.